I can't think. What am I supposed to?
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium Miguel. It's your favorite Uncle Silk.
It's Dan.
And Delatorre.
Fresh off of Tennessee scrapping, dismantling.
Just the
Same
usual.
corner, same time. How y'all boys feeling? Y'all good?
I'm feeling great. Got the distinct honor and privilege of making Gainesville smell my cologne this weekend. Got to hang out with Nick and his lovely girlfriend. Got to run into White Buffalo on the place for a little bit before.
Nice.
What was he, Nick? A TikTok star, like an Instagram kid?
Some Instagram kid.
Some Instagram kid with like 400,000 followers. Took the VIP from us after a couple hours. That's all we needed to do. We needed to let Gainesville know that we were there, and then had a great time. Shout out to Annie for her tailgate on Saturday. Shout out to Gator Collective for their tailgate Saturday. Shout out to a number of you guys that I was able to meet up with, and had a great time in the swamp. So it was good to be back in Gainesville.
Yeah, the best thing about night games, you get to tailgate hop a little bit. You got plenty of time to see faces and kiss babies.
Yeah, we got to campus at about 1:00. So we were there for a solid 6 hours of tailgating. So
Nice.
So it was a good time, beautiful weather, good atmosphere. Definitely more people than I thought tailgating the entire day. So Gainesville showed up, and it was a great time. So can't complain.
Yeah, it's looking like people missing football because I expected like a drop off out the Bama, but it was rocking. Nick, how was the box?
The box was fine. It's definitely getting, we're definitely starting to flirt with fall. We're not dating fall yet up here, but we're getting fall vibes. Like Dan said, he was able to tailgate all day. I think if you had tried to do that for the FAU game, you would have gotten heat stroke because it was still 90 plus then. I
seen Brenton Cox in the turtleneck, so I was a little confused. I thought maybe I was off, like South Florida was still in summer mode, but you guys are fully in fall.
Well, we're not fully in fall. I think that outfit was planned out ahead of time. Maybe didn't look at the forecast. It was not.
Yeah, still warm.
It was not turtleneck weather. Let's make that clear. It was not.
I was
turtleneck
confused because
weather.
I see him on Gator Walk with a turtleneck. I was like, yeah, it was just serial killer vibes right there.
No,
I mean, I guess when you only have to walk like 50 feet, not 50 feet, probably like 50 yards, 75 yards. But by the end of the game, there was a little nip in the air. I'm not going to say it was chilly, but there's a little wind.
I brought a 3/4 zip that I put on like mid fourth quarter.
A 3/4 zip T-shirt or
like a 3/4 zip, like a pullover.
Oh, okay.
Those are called quarter zips, unless you're.
Did I say 3/4 zip?
You did three. You said a 3/4 zip.
A quarter zip,
as if you were zipping from your belly button up.
Yeah, you got a two.
That'd be a weird. That'd be a weird top.
Nick brought a zip up cardigan with him.
I got a flex for Dan a little bit. We initially were planning to go to White Buffalo and pulled up. We thought we'd beat the crowd. Got there like 9:30. We did not beat the crowd. The line to skip the line was already a very long line.
Right.
So I was like, hey, let's go to Oak. Start saying like, I don't really want to call in like a favor. Walk into Oak. My guy Zeke is sitting there at the bar at Oak. So said, hey, we were trying to go to Buff, but it's packed. Of course, being the owner, he was very excited it was packed. We did a couple shots of 42, and he walked us over to White Buffalo, right to the table. So it all worked out.
Yeah, there was a group of folks that weren't supposed to be in the VIP section, just hanging out, just having themselves a good old time. So Zeke is like, you guys got to get out. And then the five of us, Harrison joined us. Zeke and his buddy was there. Me and my girl were there, and then Nick. So that the five of us, we got the vibe out for probably an hour and a half in VIP, and then got the chance to move on to run into a couple friends of mine that are UT fans at a different bar. But Gainesville was bumping. I haven't been to downtown Gainesville in a long time. That is a completely different place.
Man, y'all can have Midtown. Y'all can fight over the balls and all that other stuff.
I'll be honest with
downtown,
you,
baby.
The internet's gonna be mad at me, but I didn't even make it to balls or to balls or Midtown this week.
Yeah, you had
downtown's the vibes, man.
You had 6 hours on Saturday to get over there.
I did, but I was having too much fun. The tailgates were popping. You don't get the chance to do tailgates very often. So Gainesville was awesome. Thanks everybody for the hospitality. Thanks for the people that said they listened to the show. Some guy turned around, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 people in front of me. He's like, "You're the Stadium and Gale guy." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I love Uncle Silk." I'm like, "Oh man."
There you go. Shout out to that guy.
So shout out to that guy.
I don't know. It sounds like a great guy.
Shout out to Gator fans. I was like Silk and Dan. I didn't know what the crowd was going to be. Tennessee, like the vibes just weren't the same. I guess on social media all week, Tennessee's kind of down. They've been down for the better part of 2 decades. It seems like, especially when they're playing Florida, and you're coming off of a Bama game where you lost, but you played well. I just didn't know what it was going to look like, and it was a really good crowd. Not as loud as it was for Alabama, but a really good crowd. So Gator fans have brought it, 3 weeks in a row, 4 if you include having more fans in Tampa than USF did for their home game.
Well, I'll also give a shout out to the students as well. Obviously, the fans are there. One of the things that we've talked a lot about on this show, and obviously people have opined on, is that students are late arriving. That student section was probably 85, 90% filled up to what it ultimately filled up. I don't think that the entire student section or even the entire stadium was completely filled. I definitely don't think there's 88,000 people there. But the student section was there. They were loud. And I gotta shame Tennessee fans. I know that you guys have lost 16 out of 17 or whatever it is, but just a piss poor showing by their fan base. Just absolutely abysmal. There's maybe 3,000 Tennessee fans, maybe less. That's the lowest Tennessee crowd that I've ever seen.
Yeah, they travel well. That's one of my favorite games to go to when we playing at home. And Tennessee usually travels pretty well. But I'm glad they're losing faith. Very good.
They've given up.
Well, glad they're losing faith.
Yeah, it's exciting. Sound like Florida State.
Oh, geez. Hey, for Florida State, the best part about being 0-4 for them is the chance to be 0-5 next week. So.
Oh, there's no chance. It's happening. It's going down.
So why don't you get into the Brunt Addery, and then let's get into our topics for the show.
Shout out to the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. Be sure to visit bruntinsurance.com for all your insurance needs. Home insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, motorcycle insurance, or even boat insurance. Depending on whatever you're driving, Greg can insure it. If you're even driving that trailer and pulling a motorcycle or a boat, he can insure that as well. Give him a call at 954-589-2204 or bruntinsurance.com. Big coverage.
Yeah, shout out to the guy that I saw when I was pulling into Gainesville the other day. He had a huge RV coach with a real sick, I don't even know what kind of pickup truck behind it. And then inside the pickup truck bed was his golf cart. So shout out to that guy's bread. Greg Brunt got all 3 of you, but that's some bread right there. Anyway, before we get into, as we normally would, the Florida Gators game in this past weekend, we do want to address a situation that has come up. The Alligator this morning posted, Zachary Huber of the Independent Florida Alligator put out a very extensive report with multiple players and parents telling the story of former Florida Gators women's basketball coach Cam Newbauer. There's allegations of belittling and demeaning Black players, abuse, verbal and physical abuse. A number of players that transferred out were interviewed in this story. Very, very comprehensive. If you remember, a few months ago, Cam Newbauer announced that he was going to be resigning from the University of Florida and relinquishing his position, citing personal reasons. This is certainly not something that we expected to come out. We expected there might be more to the story, but certainly not to this magnitude. This goes back into 2017 and the 2018 season. There is quotes from parents that spoke directly to Zach Huber. There's correspondence between Scott Strickland and Linda Teeler, who's one of the University of Florida's associate athletic directors as well, that note the abuse that these players felt by Cam Newbauer. This afternoon, Scott Strickland put out a report or put out a comment that said it is our responsibility to provide a championship experience with integrity, along with the necessary support for Gator student athletes and staff. The culture of women's basketball program under head coach Coach Cam Newbauer, described in the Florida Independent Alligator, is in no way consistent with the values of the University of Florida. At times during Coach Neubauer's tenure, there was concerns that were brought to our attention, and these concerns were addressed directly with Cam as we required corrective action and outlined clear expectations of behavior moving forward. Additionally, the UAA provided enhanced administrative oversight and presence within the program and sought anonymous feedback directly from student athletes and staff. Ultimately, we did not see the required improvements, and following discussions with Cam Neubauer, or Coach Neubauer, pardon me, he made the decision to resign. So guys, I know that there's a lot of opinions, a lot of talk today. But Nick, when you first heard this story, what were your thoughts?
These were kind of rumors around Gainesville about something like this. Obviously didn't know the extent of it. And I think the reporting done by Zach and the alligator here is commendable. And then I think it's scary to think what was said by Scott Strickland. You know, I think there's a bunch of us that will be sending in Freedom of Information Acts to get the correspondence between Linda Teeler and Scott Strickland in regards to this, because you're hearing about these allegations from parents in 2017, 2018. And then when you extend the coach, you say Cam is building his program the right way and making steady progress. It's important that he have the time he needs to continue that progress. I think if you know that at least these allegations are out there, he's certainly not building the program. A championship experience with integrity, not even close here. And then Scott Strickland's response today, I think that's weak as well. So I saw a lot of people calling for his job. I would like to see what Florida uncovered during, their investigation into this, because there's always, three sides to the story: yours, mine, and then the truth. What did Florida uncover? Because if Florida uncovered that, okay, yeah, this was true, there is validity to the allegations that were brought up to us, and then you make the decision to continue, one, paying that person, two, give him a 3-year contract extension, and then cape for him when you finally have to, when there's finally, the culmination of him having to step down, say that even in air quotes.
Right.
When you release that statement, you're still complimentary of this guy who is physically and verbally abusive to 17, 18, 19-year-old women that were, that their parents entrusted their child to. So I think, this is not the end of this for Scott Strickland. He has a lot more questions to answer. And it'll be interesting to see, when we get this information back from Florida, what they actually uncovered during their investigation.
So before I get your opinion here, I do want to also note that assistant Kelly Ray Finley, who has been promoted to the interim coach in wake of his resignation, is also listed as somebody that was involved and, in quote, did everything she could to sweep, talking about his abuse, under the rug, and also listed in there is that a former Florida Gator attempted suicide. Right. It doesn't obviously say who, and that is not our privilege to know. But again, super sad information. And then I would imagine, Stoke, and then I want to hear your thoughts, that this is just the beginning of a massive sweep, not only in the women's basketball program, but maybe even some decision making at the executive level.
Yeah, I think it's just like, This is like egregious, like the level of all of this. Like, there's just so many layers to it. First of all, as women, the way he's speaking to women is crazy. The way he's treating women that are young women, and then all of these complaints were made from a lot of players over several years, and I just don't see the urgency to care about young women's mental, like suicide stuff was happening. I think that's crazy. A lot of racial stuff was happening to young black women, or what they're wearing.
Not even what they're wearing on campus, what they're wearing to go grocery shopping on a Saturday. Correct. That's none of your business.
He threw a basketball player at one of the injured player's leg. These are young women. I just don't see why anybody should cape for him. That ain't the standard. I think he should, like, everybody that swept anything under the rug should be held accountable. And absolutely everybody, not just the basketball coach. Anybody that knew something was going on with these young ladies and their mental health. Like, reading is just disgusting and sad. Like, he affected a lot of young women's lives, like, and people just quitting on their dreams. People work 19 years to get to a program like University of Florida and to like showcase their talents, and they were just mistreated. Yeah, I'm just with Nick. Like, people just got to be held accountable. And I think, like you said, Dan, everything should be investigated. That's the standard, right? This logo is held to a certain degree, man. And just to read something like that, I just know how the University of Florida feels about the logo and everything that goes around this brand. So to let this go like this, if it's true, I think this needs to be some more action. I don't think just that guy resigning, air quotes, like Dan did, is enough.
Yeah, no, Sok, I echo your sentiment. In light of everything that was happening, even in 2017 with the Me Too movement, obviously everything that's happened since then, this is something that if you knew, had credible sources telling you, and then I want to get into what one of the mothers of one of the former basketball players said today in a tweet thread. But especially in the time, that's something that part of the Gator standard is upholding yourself to a standard that's higher than those around you. And if you ascribe that expectation, not only in achievement of sport and how well your team does, you also have to do it in the treatment of a student athlete and the treatment of people around you. And to me, that's what the Gator standard is it's not just how well do you perform on the football field, basketball court, softball field, whatever the case may be. It's how well are you developing student athletes for life beyond the athletic court or the athletic field. And it's disappointing to not only know that this information was shared with multiple people within the administration, that it looks like that it was quote unquote investigated. It looks like they did nothing about it. And then to respond a few years later and just be like, oh, he resigned is not only a sad thing to hear, but it's also a dereliction of duty, in my opinion. And this is just the beginning. Thank you, Zachary Huber, for uncovering this story and letting these women tell their stories. But this is a very sad moment in Gator Nation, and there needs to be some accountability. But this is truly a very sad moment.
And Scott's answer is there's no accountability there.
Right.
No, not whatsoever. That, like, I'd rather him not even say nothing and just kind of figure it out. Them get together, have a better plan than that. But that press release, whatever he put, was like, come on, what you telling us? You gave this man an extension after you knew all of this information. He wasn't even winning games. Like, there really ain't no reason for an extension on or off the court. I don't get why he was extended.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff you would think there could be legal action taken, and maybe that's a reason why you put out such a weak statement today. On the advice of legal, but certainly to throw in that we strive to give students a championship experience with integrity in the wake of what's being alleged, not saying that anything in the report, in the story, is wrong. Just a really bad look for everyone involved. And the mother said that her email went to President Fox. So like this, you're going straight to the top of the university of everyone knew. That everybody at the University of Florida knew at least what was being alleged. So that's why I want to know what
is being alleged is wild. Like, these are not just like, yo, the coach benched me or cursed me out. These are wild allegations, man. This ain't just normal cookie cutter BS.
Like, I'm for tough coaching. That's like old school to me. I had my dad as a coach until high school, and I got probably treated worse than every other player on the team just because he didn't want it to seem like there was impropriety going on, and my son's starting at shortstop because he's my son. The stuff I saw with Mario Cristobal, where they were saying he went too far, yelling at a player. What I saw was the player looking at him in the eyes saying, yes, sir, like being coached. I'm fine with, coaches smacking a player's shoulder pads and things like that. But, throwing a basketball at a girl who's missing the season because she just had surgery on a torn ACL because you didn't think she was paying enough attention
Right.
to the practice. What are you doing? Commenting on the way the women who are playing for you are dressing off the field, like that's not your place.
Right. Yeah, taking them to the mall to go shopping to get new clothes because he didn't want.
That's an impermissible benefit for 2017. If you want to get
Sick
more,
guy said he didn't want his daughter. He had him covering up the tattoos because he didn't want his daughter to dress like them and stuff like that. Like, there's some sick stuff. He's just not a good person. You just can't have just not good people around.
He's got a Bible verse in his Twitter bio, so he's got to be a good person.
It's nuts. So
You wild, Nick.
I think
I didn't even look.
that one's not going to go well on the internet tomorrow.
Right.
But, here we are. But I think one of the things that bothers me about this is that I know that Linda Teeler, who is a Black female that is also the University of Florida's Title IX representative and very involved in Title IX issues across the country. And any good person should do this, but somebody that's so tied into the program and has been there for so long, and that she was involved, and Scott Strickland were involved, and President Fox was involved, and all of these people that could be there to stop along the way, and not one person did. It to me is just disappointing. I feel for these women. I feel for their families. I feel for, how they're going to have to deal with that and overcome that in the future. And I hope the best for them. And I hope for a lot of people, this is not only a learning opportunity, but this is a real moment of reflection for them, and that the university really reflects on the leadership overseeing, these issues and why they weren't addressed.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. Again, not the topic that we wanted to start the show with today, but
real quick before we move forward, do you think because at this point, any player that's probably been done wrong by the University of Florida might pop their head up? Do you expect more?
I expect more information to come out. I don't know if there's going to be more players. I wouldn't be surprised if there is, but I think that there's going to be more information. I think the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act stuff that Nick and fellow journalists are going to file, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't picked up today by more national media members. Yeah, but this is not a good look for Scott Strickland. It's not a good look for the University of Florida, and this isn't going away. There's going to be NCAA investigations, whether they mean anything or not. This is a bad day for the University of Florida.
Right.
And a bad few years, right? This is something that could have been avoided 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
some allegations is just wild. Some of that stuff is just not a good person. Like, who lives people that miserable shouldn't be coaching. I just don't all that sounds just sick to me. Mental health stuff, bro. What we got? Let's get into beating the shit out of Tennessee.
Well, let's do it. But before we do that, we're excited to bring back another sponsor that we've had in the past that you guys just absolutely blew the shorts off a couple weeks ago. Home Field is back for the season. So homefieldapparel.com. You have seen their unbelievable options of Florida Gator vintage gear. Visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, get 15% off of your purchase. They just finished unleashing a bunch of new schools as a part of their big new Saturday program where they launched 16 new schools. So maybe you have a significant other, a family member, a friend that also went to a university that has home field apparel. You still use the promo code Stadium and Gale when you go shopping and visit them. Over 100 schools currently listed at Home Field. In my opinion, the best Florida Gators gear that is out there. So again, Stadium and Gale at checkouthomefieldapparel.com. Florida Gators come back to Gainesville and beat the Tennessee Volunteers for the 16th out of the last 17 times. The Gators win 38-14. The Gators hold Tennessee scoreless in the second half. And truly, the Gators really only gave Tennessee 2 opportunities to score on busted plays, whether it was a missed coverage or a couple of missed tackles. But all in all, the Gators end up with another victory. Silk, give me your thoughts. How do you think the game went?
I thought the game went really well. I think we started slow. I'm gonna start from the beginning of the game. I thought we started slow. I think the first drive was obviously a good one. Methodically go down the field, we get 6, just like we're supposed to. But after that, it just feels like the defense, Todd Grantham, that defense definitely starting slow. Gave it 2 big plays. They never did really drive on us. Should have been more big plays. They missed some wide open throws that other teams might hit. But overall, I just think we just got to have more urgency and play like championship football, because I think we got a championship caliber team. Just watching the landscape of college football, I just want to see us just come in sharper. So a slow start. The whole first half, we just left a lot of points on the field. The turnover by Copeland was just him just trying to do a little too much, got stripped. The run game was there. I think we're a balanced team. We're running the ball. We're passing the ball pretty evenly. Of course, the run game is better. But first half, just to go from that, that was my thoughts of the first half. I thought Emory played well. Thought the run game was solid. Naquan is, I think every game we're just gonna see a different back that looks like the better back, right? Malik Davis has looked crazy in the first couple of games. Then Naquan come in this last game just looking. He should have had 2 touchdowns if he didn't let the turf monster tackle him one play. But the first half I thought was very solid, but just slow starts. The defense is just not there yet, communication-wise. We were missing Kyer, but some of the mistakes that we made, giving up those busted coverages and missed tackles, just like starting to like make me lose a little sleep. What do you think about the first half, Nick?
I asked. I mean, there's so much less tackling now in practice, whether it's spring, whether it's fall, even spring. There's so much less tackling. There's such an emphasis on CTE and obviously you're not tackling to the ground on Tuesday before Kentucky. Like that's just not smart. You're gonna get someone roll an ankle, sprain a knee, something like that. But even in spring camp, but I mean, like, how long can I make that excuse for Florida when other teams aren't missing the same kind of tackles? So on one end, I think you're seeing a lower level of defense when it comes to tackling across the board because it's not being it's not being taught. Tackling is not being taught the same way that it used to be. But it's you can't. You can get away with it against Tennessee. You didn't get away with it against Alabama. You put yourself in a 21-3 hole because of it. You might not get away with it on the road to Kentucky. You're definitely not going to get away with it at Georgia. So like, my question was, how do you fix that now when you're not practicing it still? Definitely not during the fall. How do you fix that? Or you just like at this point, if you're a fan, you just have to think, all right, well, they're going to miss double-digit tackles a game because they can't improve on it where they are now, and that's just going to be a reality of it. And you hope that a missed tackle results in an extra 7 yards, not an extra 30.
Yeah, the Gators.
I just think the missed tackle, the first one that they scored a touchdown down on, right? I kind of like Bernie missed the assignment there as well, missed the tackle, and then the safety, I think it was Trevez.
Yeah, that
came in on the bad angle and missed that tackle. That just can't happen. Like, that should be a tackle for a loss kind of play, let alone a touchdown.
And I believe that was third down, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's third down, and you stop them. They would have been in long field goal range if they went for it. They probably would have punted. I'm trying to remember. I think it would have probably been too long of a kick, unless you have Justin Tucker on your team, right? But outside of that, the Gators end up with 19 missed tackles, in that game. And I think one of the things that I saw, and this is the first game that I've been to this season where you can kind of see everything happen, is not only do they have a problem tackling, it starts before that on squaring up. A lot of these guys really struggle with not only their angle, but I don't know if they're, just not great at tackling, so they go for the legs to try to trip them up or whatever it is. But a lot of the missed tackles not only were missed because they weren't, it was just a bad tackle overall. They weren't prepared before that to even make a good tackle. And so that's one of the things that I saw. I still see some missed assignments on, before the snap. I see, them trying to figure, what to do. Mordecai McDaniel was running around trying to figure out what his position was going to be on that touchdown that he gave up.
I was just trying to figure out what he was looking at in the backfield. Like, because
I have no idea. There was nothing. Not only was there nothing back there, they were setting everybody right. It wasn't just that the one wide receiver was open and everybody was running like these, short routes. Everybody was running. Everybody was running deep, and he was staring at something. And by the time that he was stopped staring, he was 15 yards behind him.
That was disturbing, to say the least.
And, the Gators went down. So that's not what you want to see. But, all in all, I thought, the defense looked better in the second half. You don't allow any points that, no matter who, Tennessee is, as a team, I don't think that, Florida's ever, in a position to ever lose this game. And Florida was going to win. They're more talented. They're better coached, et cetera. But to hold a team, especially a team like, Tennessee that had a pretty, good offense and was scoring a lot of points this season, scoreless in a half is, definitely something worth commemorating as well.
They did miss some wide open stuff that was touchdowns, though. And
they sure did.
They dropped the pass.
They still missed it.
Callaway dropped it. Yeah, they missed it. But that's just signs on the future of, like, everybody ain't going to miss them throws. Like, those are, like, layup throws. The one on the sideline where he just threw it in the front row of the bleachers. I appreciate him being that inaccurate, but that was probably 6 as well. And it's just explosive plays. Like Kentucky could never sustain a drive and go get points on us. So they're just scheming by hype. They're seeing something on film to know that they can scheme guys open on Grantham's defense.
Mm-hmm. So I guess let's break down offense, defense a little bit more. Your thoughts on Emory Jones? Emory Jones, again, is the only quarterback that plays in this game. Anthony Richardson sits. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a bit. How do you guys think Emory looked running the offense? Named SEC co-offensive player of the week, so I already know what you guys are going to say. But outside of that, what are your thoughts on what you saw on Saturday?
Offensively, I think another good performance. I mean, you look at Emory Jones had 144 rushing yards, threw for 200. No one's done that since Tebow. And I think only Tebow and Emory Jones have done that in the last 25 years. While you can still kind of pick apart some of his game, I think Emory continues to look a little bit better each week. And that's really all I can ask of him is you have to keep getting better. It was his first clean game, no interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers. And then the running backs continue to impress me. Naquan Wright's fantastic touchdown run. I thought that Dameon Pierce continues to look great, and Malik Davis looks like what we thought he would be, as a freshman before his first injury. Mm-hmm. Justin Shorter showed signs of life, which was nice because it wasn't that he was playing bad, but he was like just blocking. He just like blocked his ass off for 2 weeks and didn't get any catches. And
he had some drops, yeah.
No, well.
Yeah, I think the turf monster, was the only one that was holding Florida's running backs back.
Yeah. I mean, just a strong offensive performance for me. And then if you look, you didn't have Stuart Reese play. I thought Josh Braun looked really, really good. Yep. Kingsley Egbuka has to come off, and I think Richie Leonard. I don't know if I'm super confident in Richie, but I think he looked okay. In stretches there, I just think he gets the ball back a little bit slower. Yeah. And I thought Florida showed some more stuff that they hadn't shown all year. I thought they were under center more than they had been in any of their first 3 games.
A couple of those I didn't like.
No.
I don't be feeling like I'm trying to remember the exact possession, but it was a time that we went on the center to do a short yardage play or something. And I just wasn't feeling it. I also think we need to take more shots down the field. Like teams are daring us to throw like 50-50 ball one-on-ones type situations. I think highly of our receiver room. I don't care what nobody says. We got some athletes, but teams are daring Emory to throw the ball in one-on-one situations.
And you're not, and you're not taking those shots. He's shown that he can throw deep, whether it's a 16-yard out or or a go pattern. Like he can hit those balls. And I think at some point teams are starting to bring more and more guys into the box and these screens and these quick passes. Like Dan Mullen was super complimentary today about Kentucky, and Kentucky's kind of built the same way. Where they're big and physical and they're going to run the ball, but then they'll take their shots off of play action. I think we haven't seen Florida really do that yet.
Yeah, Emory Jones, this is definitely his best day passing. He goes 6 for 9 beyond 10 yards for 49 for just over a hair over 100 yards and no touchdowns. There was the Jacob Copeland fumble on a pass that was beyond 10 yards where, Florida's marching down the field. Then I don't know what, we're not talking about wide receivers right now, but I don't know what Jacob Copeland was fighting for there. I don't know if he was fighting for the extra, 2 or 3 inches, but
Two guys that you wrapped up, bro. Like one
it
guy
just seems like that's a
lower
time
body,
to go down.
I just gotta go down.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are wondering, like, if it was forward progress, watching it. I mean, he definitely looked like he was still trying to fight forward, probably one of those 50-50 calls. But at the end of the day, that's your time to go down. You've already gotten, a pretty good gain. You put yourself in a position to at least be in field goal position, if not better. But definitely his best overall game passing, in my opinion. He looked great in front of the line of scrimmage as well, those first, 10 yards as well. So I thought Emory Jones looked better. He seemed like he not only saw the field a little bit better, he seemed a little bit more decisive on, on the go, bruh, part of it. Like, if you don't see your progression open, make that move quicker. So he seemed to do a little bit better there. And it seemed to,
I don't think
a little bit. He still needs to improve a little bit on that.
I don't think all those carries were designed runs. I think less than half of them are probably designed runs for Emory and more of him, taking off. But I do agree with both of you. Like, everyone keeps talking about his progressions. Like he's not going to be Kyle Trask on the same offense. I don't want him going through 5. I don't want him going through 3, 4, 5 progressions. If you see some room to run, I think you've got it on a scheduled tweet for like 45 minutes into every Florida kickoff. Silk tweets, Emory is slippery, or 5 is slippery. And then I think I know he wants to be seen as a passer, and you'll have the opportunity to do that, but you're trying to win football games, and there's some times where I'm looking and I'm like, everyone's covered, just go. You use your God-given ability, go.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think he looks excellent when they move the pocket as well. I think not just him. I think Dan Mullen is getting his rhythm of play calling with Emory as well. Which is sharpening him up a little bit. But I think when we move the pocket or he's on the move, man, he just does his thing. Like the arm strength, and when he's rolling, he's rolling. But I think we could put up some more real estate through the pass game. I think we'll see that this week.
And one of the other things
that play actually looked great. That rocker, it's coming alive a little bit. That rocker stuff is coming alive a little bit, man. That felt good.
And one of the things that I don't want to forget when we're talking about passing is I don't want to forget about Trent. They go in shotgun. They call Kodak, the play that they ran last year. Gators pass, or Emory Jones passes it out to Jacob, or to Trent Whittemore. Throws a touchdown. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Crowd goes wild, and the Gators begin their second half scoring. So all in all, thought the Gators did well. Was that first half? End of the first half? I think that was the end of the first half, wasn't it? So anyway, long story short, good play, fun play. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, real quick. On the Cope fumble, like I get it. Keep fighting for yards, but you also got to know the situation there. Like you got a dude, has you by the ankles, wrapped up, and you got a minute before halftime. Like, just go down. You got a first down already. You got a whole new set of downs. You got a minute something. You standing there trying to fight for more yards in that situation is going to do 2 things. 1, waste time when you're trying to run down and get points before halftime. And 2, just the other guy's holding you there for other guys to come and do exactly what happened. Try to rip the ball out.
Right. The whole time, as soon as he starts struggling for more yards, I'm screaming,
like, no.
Go down.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there we go. Knew that was going to happen. But overall, those are fixable things. I'm not mad at the effort. It's an effort mistake, not just a bonehead mistake.
Yeah,
so I ain't mad at it.
Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. The Gators hold Tennessee to 14 points, which is their fewest of the season. Overall, thought the defense played well. Obviously, hold them to 0 points in the second half. You really have a couple of just missed plays, missed coverages, missed assignments on the 2 touchdowns. Silk, you mentioned it before as well. There still seems to be some time lacking at knowing where to line up when the play goes in, and then definitely some tackling issues. And definitely, in my opinion, some angle issues as well. But outside of that, give me y'all's thoughts on the defense. Nick, we'll start with you.
I think the defense is, other than those missed tackles that we talked about, I think the defense continues to get pressure and can get pressure before. I don't love, hey, hats off to Trey Dean, 11 tackles. That's a great game. I don't love when your safety leads your team in tackles. But I think Florida's getting, enough pressure with 4, even though teams are, game planning against it. You see a lot of screens, a lot of quick passes, just getting the ball out to try to negate that pass rush. I think they're still getting there, still affecting the quarterback, clearly affecting the game plan even before Saturday with how good they are. As a whole, I think the defense is getting more crap than they deserve. You have to clean up those missed tackles, which we talked about. And I mean, obviously you want to see like less pass interference penalties, stuff like that. But, like So just said about Jacob Copeland, I'll take, an aggressive penalty over, a procedural penalty every day. So I think Florida's defense is better than last year. That's a low bar to, trip over. That's a bar. You don't need to jump over that. If you're not careful, you'll just trip over it. But I think they have room to grow. And my hope is that the longer the season goes, guys like, Avery Helm, Jason Marshall, Mordecai McDaniel, Trevez Johnson, the younger guys like that continue to step up. I do want to know what's going on with Jadarius Perkins. I think he should be playing more. For everyone asking about Dewan Black, that's become, the go-to guy that I'm asked about every single week. I just don't think he's there mentally at the star position where he needs to be. And I think the guys you need to be running through there are Perkins and Johnson. Another one, I think the linebacker play is still, or not the linebacker play as a whole. I think Mahmoud Diabate is having a great season. I think, with Amari Burney and Tyron Hopper, I think you need to figure out something there. There's too many times I see Burney taking a bad angle or missing something. It's like, hey, you've been on campus too long to be making these kind of mistakes. I give Trevez Johnson, Mordecai McDaniel, a pass when something like that happens. You're a redshirt junior, redshirt senior. Those are things that you shouldn't be doing by now. You should have that stuff should be second nature to you by now.
Yeah, I would like to also see what Hopper snaps a little like. Like Hopper just should be playing more. I don't think like of course we're playing better defense than we played last year, but that's like not the greatest barometer. And we also play all SEC schedule last year. We're ranked towards the bottom of the SEC right now in defense, total defense. The only 2 teams we're playing better defense right now in total defense is Mizzou and Vanderbilt. That's just not acceptable. Pass rush, I think the front 4 is saving us a lot. That front 4 is probably the best in the country. They're nasty. Zach Carter, Cox is coming alive. Everybody in the trenches. Gravon's getting blocked by 3-4 people. He's causing some havoc up front. I like the way he's maturing and growing up this football season. The defense is just playing okay at best, man. Just like some of the explosive plays they're giving up is a concern. The total yards they're giving up is over 1,400 so far this year. That's a concern. I thought defensive backs played I'm gonna say corner. I thought the corners played okay with Kyer Elam being out the game. Not a bad showing by those guys. Shout out to Avery Ham. But the safety position, a lot to be desired. I think Trey Dean's playing okay. He's not playing bad football. ACC Player of the Week. It was an okay showing, but I don't think our safety should be leading the team in tackles. I'm with Dan on that. Trevez Johnson, that star position is a concern. I would like to see, like you just mentioned, Perkins, or I'd like to see somebody else at that position. Just his angles, his tackling, just a lot to be desired there at that position. I just want to see something different, man. The defense I'm just not like Ty got to do something, dog. I'm just not feeling it. I don't think we should ever be at the bottom tier of the SEC in defense. Period. We only gave up 14 points, so it's hard not to complain. Well, it's hard to complain, but when you break down the game and you really watch it back, it could have been worse. Tennessee left a lot on the field.
Yeah, no, I think so. You asked Hopper; he played 33 snaps. Derek Wingo played 9. A lot of people ask about him. I was surprised. Jadarius Perkins only gets 15 snaps. He was backing up Trevez Johnson, who I think struggled again. I don't think that he was really adequate in much of the game. I thought that maybe his run defense was okay. But when it comes to coverage, when it comes to tackling, when it just comes to overall performance, I want it out of Trevez Johnson. I really liked him as a prospect. Silk, you did too, coming out of high school. And I don't know what's missing. There seems to be.
It's
I
got
don't
to
know
be
if it's
some
the
of that
speed
star
of the
position.
game. Yeah,
I don't know. It's some tricky because Trey
It
Dean
might
looked
be.
terrible at that spot too. So I don't know if it's the coaching at that position because these guys can play football. Like they come in as good athletes and good ranking and all that stuff they desire. But when they're at that star position, we haven't had anybody but Chauncey Gardner Jr. that's been able to like successfully play that position since this crew's been there.
Yeah, I thought Jason Marshall played well in coverage. But you're right. So, I've got question marks at them getting beyond corners, and maybe it wasn't the big play. Maybe they didn't rush or, pass for, 400 yards or anything else. But, Nick, you said it, you run some massive risks whenever your safety, especially your deep safety, is the guy that's, leading the team in tackles. So,
There's also
frustrating.
There's a lack of turnovers that's also a problem. That's a concern, especially with the pass rush that we get. I just think we should have way more turnovers. I don't know what's it. I'm just used to a lot more turnovers. And I don't it's hard to say what the issue is with that, right? You can't say we need to do this better to get turnover. Because we're getting the pass rush, we're affecting the pocket, we're disrupting things in the run game, but there's a lack of turnovers.
Negative turnover margin right now for Florida. They've gained 3, and obviously they have lost 6. So a -3 turnover margin for Florida right now. Kentucky's even worse. Kentucky's literally the worst in the SEC. A -9 turnover margin. Kentucky has not recovered a fumble, has 2 interceptions, have lost 6 fumbles, and thrown 5 interceptions.
That's atrocious.
That's tough poverty I like to hear.
Something's got to give this week because Kentucky just is like throwing them out like coupons. Just like, here you go. Here's a turnover. And Florida has been, for the most part, like me walking into Publix. No, thank you. Don't want that. Don't even know what you're trying to hand me. Don't need that.
Girl Scout cookies, bro.
Oh, no, I'd stop for the Girl Scout cookies. I mean, come on. I know there's some boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
All right, well, so then we're gonna do a quick pause of this show, Nick. We got to go favorite Girl Scout cookie flavor.
It used to be Thin Mint for me.
What are you, terrorist?
Maybe
in the freezer.
Yeah, Thin Mint in the freezer. That's a great one.
Mint? I don't like minty.
I also just like the regular shortbread ones, like the regular sugar cookie. I like those too. I'm
a shortbread guy. Or the what are they, Samoan, whatever them things called.
I don't like coconut, so I don't like those.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah, I'm not a big coconut guy myself. What's the peanut butter little sandwich thing? It's pretty good. I don't remember all the names. But I used to be a big Thin Mint guy. I think it's because I come from a family of Thin Mint eaters,
Okay.
So that's just a
long lineage of Thin Mint
long history of Thin Mint eaters around here.
Do your family eat candy corn? Do y'all?
No. Don't mess with it at all.
Yes?
Don't mess with it.
I don't know if my family eats candy corn a lot. I don't remember
have it at your house
actively seeking out candy corn, but I don't mind candy corn. And if Chris has an issue with that, he knows where I live, so we can take this outside. I don't mind candy corn. I don't seek it out again, but I don't think it's bad.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think.
What does it taste like to you? What flavor is candy corn to you? Because it's definitely not corn. So what do you think it tastes like?
Imagine a corn flavored candy. That sounds gross.
It might taste better than candy corn if it was corn.
I don't know.
It would.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess it's kind of like M&Ms, that all parts of it kind of taste the same. I think it's a consistency thing. Obviously, the tip of it tastes a little bit different.
It does.
I just see a pause myself there.
Yeah, that sounded nuts on paper.
That sounds nuts when you look back. But I don't know. I think it's a consistency thing. I don't know what it tastes like. It just tastes like sugar, I guess. But like a gluey sugar. I guess describing it sounds gross, doesn't
it? Yeah.
It tastes like terrorism.
You didn't sell it.
Nick, do you like Peeps? You seem like a Peep guy.
No, you can throw Peeps right in there with candy corn.
Okay,
as favorite candy of the terrorists. That's what that is, Dan.
The candy of terrorists. Let's get back on the show. Speaking of terrorism, Gervon Dexter was a terrorist in the Tennessee backfield. I thought that he played great. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 hurry. 2 hits, quarterback hits, 2 hurries. Did have a missed tackle. Yeah, it was kind of iffy. But all in all, 2 big stops. I thought that he played fantastic. It might have been one of his best games as a Gator.
Yeah, I think he grew up a little bit, pushing the pocket, like drawing triple teams and stuff
Yeah,
like that, man. That's the type of action we need at the defensive tackle position, because that's where it all begins at, right there. I can't wait to see him and Big Dez beside each other next year, and maybe Leonard Taylor.
Oh, you're shopping?
A little bit.
See that we need that. We'll do that later. We'll do that segment a little bit later. But like Silk shopping list, shopping with Silk.
He's got all the money in the world, so
he does. He does.
Definitely buying and selling on the transfer portal market.
Okay, that's got to be a whole new segment. I like Florida. I mean, I've already said I like Florida's defense. I really like up front. Those 4. I think Gervon Dexter is showing that he has the potential to become an all SEC type, all American type player. And then if we extend to the front 7, I think Jeremiah Moon and then Brenton Cox. I don't know if you categorize him. I think the NFL categorized him as a linebacker. They'll categorize him as an edge. He had, I think, 2.5 tackles for loss against Tennessee. So I think he's rounding into form and certainly playing his best, which is amazing since that Georgia writer said that his leg was amputated in June.
Yeah. No, I thought, he carried over as I said he would. Wasn't the player of the game, like I said that he would be on defense, but definitely this is, I think, his best 2-game stretch. And, the best part about that is that you can, move that into 3 games. So, hopefully he's starting to come into his own a little bit. And, one of the things that I'm wondering is because their snaps are a little bit more this year, because there are so many guys that deserve to play on that defensive line, if they're just trying to go out and earn that extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snaps that they might get over some of these other guys. But if you look at that defensive line, there's a lot of rotation. Gervon Dexter led the team on the defensive tackle side, but Newkirk gets 31 snaps. Valentino gets 28. Desmond Watson got 9. So, there's starting to be some rotation there on the defensive end. You have 41 for Cox, 46 for Carter. You throw in a couple other players. Uman Milan gets 22. So there's not a ton of snaps. Yeah, he's good.
Millen he got to watch his hand placement because that face mask, and then he came back like his hands are high, but he got bad intentions. That's my new favorite. That's my spirit animal.
My spirit animal.
I like his energy, bro.
He was a guy too that I'm seeing a lot of growth from. There were a lot of sad tweets after games last year. He was a long way from home, coming from Texas, not playing a ton as a freshman. But that burst he has off the line, I think Tennessee fans thought they were watching like WWE wrestling because they were calling whatever he did to Hooker a clothesline.
I like it.
I
love it. I love the violence, bro. That's my spirit animal. I love that kid. I like his violence.
But yeah, I think he's got a bright future, and he's someone who I think if we come into next year, he might be one of my guys that I say could lead the team in sacks.
Nick is already preparing his buy or sell segment for next year.
Right. You gotta finish
the money rolls over for next season, so I got
Nick, we're about to get to it in about 2 segments about how little money you have right now. Elijah Blades comes back from injury. He plays in the game. Ethan Pouncey gets some snaps. The transfer from Texas. So, all in all, was surprised that Chris Bogle only got 18 snaps. Didn't see a ton out of him in the game, but was surprised that after the game against Alabama that he didn't get a few more. But, seeing a lot of heavy rotation, but seeing, those guys for the most part, at least in the front 4, some of the middle 3, some of the outside and some of the safety. But all in all, it seems like it's starting to come together. Still some big question marks in some spots. But if we clear up some of those, then
right now I think David Turner is the only one on the defensive side with a good approval rating right now.
Yes,
that front 4 is killing, but I think everybody else is kind of like, we need to tighten up the rest of the defense. That front 4 is saving us, but Embarrassment of riches in that front four. We rotate out just stud after stud, man. Them transfers coming in was huge. Right now, that's just my biggest take, man. The front four, and that was the issue last year. This year's a scrim.
Yeah, no, Silk, I think that you're not only right on David Turner. I'm really wondering, and I'm really starting to question the quarterback coaching and development of some of those guys. Not ready to write off, your Derek Wingos, and Tyron Hopper certainly played a little bit more, and Jeremiah Moon has kind of been a surprise to say the least. But a lot of these guys that were recruited and developed just don't seem to be performing well. They seem to be out of position. They seem to really only be good at either pass rush or run defense, pass protection or run defense. And they don't seem to be multifaceted players. And there's a lot of question marks that I still have at linebacker. And then obviously,
do you think
go ahead.
Do you think the assignments or the defense being too complicated? Maybe that, because I've heard that from some guys that are like, I don't
well, no, I mean,
I've heard that the defense may be too complex, especially at the linebacker position.
If it's too complex for players to figure out, it sure seems easy for opposing offenses to figure it out. So
they just know they don't know what they're doing. So it's like, yo, pick on him, right? Because he has no idea what he's doing. He's bad at this. Like they don't absolutely got to like know our defense, the ins and outs of it. You kind of find out who's terrible and pick on that person, and assignment wise who can't do what. But we've had offenses, I think, with Nuss in the past that too complex for offense for college kids. Some of the stuff you got to dumb down. It's got to be see ball, get ball. It just seems like everybody's doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah,
it probably depends on the person you ask. Because like I asked Jawan Taylor as I was driving back from the Texas A&M game last year, and he's like, "No, it's not." And other guys I've talked to have said, "Yeah, that you're
like
running."
Should have gave you a different answer though.
Well, Jawan was the guy that like knew where he needed to be, just like physically couldn't get there.
Right.
And then he's playing next to Marcel Harris, who didn't know where he was going to be, but was athletic enough to like get there just a half second late. If you could put the two of them together, you might have a safety who plays 12 years in the NFL. Marcel's halfway to that on his own anyway.
Right.
But there are other guys that I've talked to and parents and players both that say this is an NFL defense. I think a lot of the guys see that and want to come and play for Todd Grantham and play at the University of Florida because, okay, well, that's going to get me prepared for the NFL. But I think you're seeing growing pains and you're not seeing guys play fast. And that's you can blame, when you're thinking of missed tackles or bad angles, I think you can blame a lot of that on guys playing slow because they're thinking. And sometimes, Dan Mullen's offense isn't super complicated. And I think it allows guys to play fast because they know what they're supposed to do. And they don't have to slow down for a step, to think about, wait, where am I supposed to be right now? So I think you see a lot of thinking going on in the Gators defense, which causes them to be tick slow. Who ain't thinking?
33 ain't thinking.
He's just going.
And that's the energy. That's the energy I want to see from my defense. Violence, bro. Like it don't look like we're that damn aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what we got next, Dan?
Yeah, no. Quick shout out to Jace Chrisman, comes in, nails a field goal, hits all of his extra points. So finally got the scholarship kicker kicking. So congratulations to him for, I guess, earning that position. Yeah, well, I had questions last week that Nick didn't want to ask.
I asked him after the game Saturday.
Anyway, let's give a shout out to our friends at Game Time Sidekicks, which is an officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. Started back in 2015 to bring the best drinkware to fans around the country. Made up of fans and create products for people just like themselves who love to show off team pride. So all stainless steel vacuum insulated tumblers. Geez, I can't read today. Check them out. Over 350 schools, multiple colors, multiple sizes, a lot of different logo options, a lot of different sports. Give them a look at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use the code STADIUM and you get 10% off of your entire order.
Is the code Stadium and Gale or just Stadium?
Just stadium, just the old stadium there. Gators go up to Kentucky. They will be playing a 4-0 team that has wins over Louisiana Monroe, Missouri, which is the game that they crowned them as contenders for the SEC East, a team that just lost to Boston College. They beat Chattanooga by just 5 points, and then they beat South Carolina 16-10 this past weekend. So Gators go in 3-1, ranked number 10 team in the country against Kentucky. Nick, what are you expecting to see out of this game? You are on mute, my friend.
Brings up a great moment for me. Dan Mullen was asked after, I think, an Egg Bowl win, because he was smoking cigars, so it had to have been an Egg Bowl win, who they beat out for Nick Fitzgerald's services. And he goes, with a cigar in his mouth, UT Chattanooga. So shout out to UT Chattanooga for being on the Nick Fitzgerald hype train early. I think Florida. Listen, Florida's had some weird games with Kentucky. Like, I know the 35-year streak is over, but like a couple of those, if Kentucky covers a couple guys in Lexington, the streak probably ended before Dan gets here. If the play clock operator or a referee saw the play clock, that overtime game probably ends differently. Kentucky's had some weird close games, and they're a big physical team. They have a lot of seniors, a lot of redshirt seniors on the team. So when I'm talking about guys that know the scheme, know the system, because you've been in the program for 3, 4, 5 years, I think that's where Kentucky will give Florida trouble, is that they're big, they're physical. They like to throw off a play action, something that, we were talking about earlier. We want to see Florida do some more. So I think that'll be the test for Florida. Can you match Kentucky's physicality on the lines? You did it against Alabama. You're going to have to do it again. And then the other one is, I want to see how Florida's offense does on the road. They haven't had a true road game. There were more Florida fans in Tampa than there were USF fans. That's a fact. So I want to see how Florida handles the road atmosphere. All of their stuff, I asked Emory Jones today, all their stuff in terms of play call wise is silent hand signals, whether they're at home or on the road. So you don't have to worry about anything, changing there or getting play calls in. So to me, it's just match Kentucky's physicality and continue playing, a little bit better than you did the week before. And Florida should leave Lexington with a win.
So,
yeah, I think just like that's a tough game. It's a tricky game. I don't want to talk crazy. I want to get out of there with a win. Watching us start a little slow. You don't want to start that slow on the road with a veteran team, like Nick just said. And I think Stoops is a good coach. And this is their Super Bowl every year. So you're not allowed, given the privilege, to come in and sleep on a team like Kentucky, because this is their Super Bowl. And the East is pretty much down to 3 teams: us, Kentucky, and Georgia. We just 2 wins. I just want to see us come in. If we come in on point, I think we're one of the best teams in the country. If we focus, we'll smoke this team. The spread's at 8.5. I think we've been struggling covering the spread a little bit, so I ain't gonna talk too crazy. But I think talent-wise, and ceiling for the season-wise, this is a team that we should beat and go on, and keep our season going. I think we roll, bro. I want to just win and get out of there, but I think we can roll. I think we get into our bag a little bit more and give other teams in the conference some headaches and some things to think about. And I think we get our 2-quarterback system. We're a lot more explosive this game. We go down the field a little bit more, get that play action rocking with that rocker step. I think we can roll. Defense, they got to just figure something out, bro. I want to see just a solid defense come in and play 4 quarters. Give me some 3 and outs early in the game, not second half. Get my offense back the ball, let them get hot and steamy early in the first quarter. If we get the ball first, if they get the ball first, I don't care. Give me a 3 and out, give me the ball back. I just want to see the defense wake up early and come get some turnovers and sacks and all that stuff first quarter. But I think we win this thing handily. 2-score game. All I want is a win.
Florida has covered the spread in the last 2 games after not covering the spread in the first 2. So one more covering the spread would be a streak.
Right.
How about that, Nick? So a couple things. You guys hit the nail on the head. I think the one couple things that you need to do is I think you need to force Will Levis to throw, but you also have to cause him to turn the ball over. He has 7 touchdowns on the season, but 5 interceptions. When he gets hot, by the way, Will is the guy, I don't know if you remember from a couple weeks ago, that went viral for eating a banana peel and banana itself. Absolutely disgusting.
It's egregious to eat a banana in public alone, but if the peel's on it, that's just like terrorist watch stuff for real.
That's nuts. You got a drug test every week.
Would you eat a handful of candy corn or a banana with the peel on?
Give me the banana with the peel.
That's
for sure. Candy corn is terrible.
Is that the worst candy in your opinion, Sil?
It's up there, dog. I got Twizzler up there. The Twizzler don't taste like nothing to me.
I'm not a big Twizzler guy, yeah.
Especially
it's off-brand Twizzlers, like the ropes or like
Red
Vines.
Red Vines.
It's just absolutely disgusting.
I don't know who made that or how they been. It's got to be like a money laundering scheme. I don't know who made Twizzlers popular, but it's not a good. You do?
Not licorice, but Twizzlers, like the licorice, the black ones. I don't know what that tastes like. The red ones, yeah, red Twizzlers.
Nick, what is it?
I'll eat a black jelly bean before I eat a Twizzler.
Tastes like sugar. Twizzlers taste like sugar.
It don't even taste like sugar. It tastes like rubber.
Yeah, it definitely tastes like there was some processing going on in the making.
Twizzler is worse than candy corn.
It is.
Stop that.
I agree.
It is.
Stop that. You've never had a worse take.
That's a legit take.
That's
never
the
had a worse
best
take.
takes you've ever had.
No. Put that up on Twitter right now.
Which better, candy corn or Twizzlers?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just get this poll going. I mean, there's a lot of candy corn hit out there, but I don't think people really broke down what a Twizzler tastes like because it tastes like nothing.
Wild take,
dude. Twizzlers are not good, Nick,
at all.
You eat candy corn willingly, so we're not listening to your take right now.
And you probably bite the ends off your Twizzlers and use it as a straw. So, like,
that's part about it? I used to eat candy corn as a kid, and I grew up and realized it was terrible. As a kid, I knew Twizzlers was shit. I knew it was trash right away. I'm like, what is this? This don't taste like nothing. Get this out of my Halloween bag.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. But back on to Kentucky. They've got a fantastic wide receiver in Wanda Robinson. 25 catches, 402 yards on the season. Also has 4 carries for 78 yards. So averaging 19 and a half yards a carry, almost 15 yards per reception, I believe. 16 yards, pardon me. So an explosive player. They still have Cavassier Smoke over there. They also have Chris Rodriguez Jr., who has 522 yards. So, they've got some ability to move the ball. They're gonna probably get some yards. The biggest thing is being able to limit them or to force them to turn the ball over. They have now. I will say this: a bulk of their yards did come against Louisiana Monroe and Missouri, 564 from 520 yards respectively. Last 2 games, they've been held to 356 against the Fighting Moccasins of Chattanooga, and just to 332 against a bad South Carolina team. So maybe they expose themselves. Maybe they're holding back, but they do have the ability to chunk yards. And Florida is more talented, and I don't think Kentucky is more talented than last year overall. So I do expect a Florida win. Silk, I like that 2-score game. I like a 2-touchdown win for the Gators this week. So, but I mean, let's get into it, right? Let's give our predictions.
Real quick, who do you like? I think the scrambling quarterback is a thing, and I think we could possibly struggle with that, especially with linebackers being a weak spot for us, right? Who do you have QB spot this guy in your mind? Just you play Todd Grantham. Dan Grantham. About to fire you. With any answer you say, they're gonna fire you.
I know. That's why. I mean, I feel like you have to do like a Tyron Hopper, right? I mean, he's athletic and speedy. I don't think that he's your best linebacker, but I think that he's able to certainly engage and has the speed to be able to do it. It can't be Jeremiah Moon, right? So who can it be besides him? I'm going to go with Hopper. Nick?
I need the question again. I was doing my
who
press
are you
conference.
spying the quarterback with?
It could be Moon. I mean, obviously it's going to be Bernie or Hopper. Like those are the guys that are playing that spot. I think Diabate is probably athletic enough to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Diabate. I like Diabate or a Hopper. I wouldn't want to see Bernie spying anybody like that in that position. I think he's athletic enough. He's fast enough to run with anybody, but ultimately you got to get the guy on the ground and get him in space. So I wouldn't mind seeing Diabate do that myself.
I don't think Diabate had a great game last week. I was a little disappointed to see that. But no, I think that he's a good pick as well. I think I've seen enough, and I'm not trying to attack the young man, but I think I've seen enough of the Amari Bernie experiment. I don't know what his position is in the positions that they do have him in. He seems to struggle quite mightily, and I think it's time for Hopper and Diabate to get the bulk of the snaps there.
What did you guys feel about Dan Mullen saying he didn't know who Wandale Robinson was? I think that gave him a little bulletin board material right there. What was your take on that?
Coaches and players don't know names, like unless they like recruited that player or they've played against him a couple of times. Like they're watching film.
You don't think they know nobody name?
Not nobody. Like if Florida's playing, Georgia, they'll know. Who JT Daniels' name is. But if there's a sophomore cornerback or a guy like Robinson who just transferred in, they're watching film with no sound. They know who number one is. So like he knows who Wandale is. He just didn't know his name when he was asked about the kid who transferred in, because Dan's first quote was talking about Kentucky being so big and so physical that you kind of have to like sell out to stop the run, and then they hit you with the playmakers they have on the outside, and he mentioned a transfer. So I think it was Thomas Goldcamp brought up Robinson, and he goes, "What number is he?" He goes, "I don't really know their names. I know their numbers." And he goes, "Number 1." He goes, "Oh, yeah, that's what I was just talking about with the transfers that they get in, that they have this." So I think coaches are just in game mode. Now, listen.
But you just grab that for bulletin board, though. Like, you don't go listen to the whole presser. You just grab that clip, you don't know who you is.
Listen, man. Robinson, I'm sure that's the chip on his shoulder this week. And all week, he'll print that out. I don't know if they print it out or he'll maybe make it his lock screen on his phone. He, the tweet from the Kentucky reporters. And I get that. I don't think that Dan Mullen means this any disrespect, is what I'm saying. Now, if I'm the player, it'll be the lock screen on my phone until Saturday. He's like, I'll make this MFer understand, know my name. Saturday 10 p.m.
Yeah, he probably got those expectations and aspirations, but we got 5 back, so it's gonna ruin his party a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because he lines up as a slot, right, Nick?
I'm
almost positive that he does. So that'll be interesting. Go back
and watch their last game.
If he lined up his slot, he might have a career day.
I have some question marks.
I know his mama name by the end of the night.
If I remember correctly, and I could be completely wrong here, but I think he's like a shorter guy, right? I think he's only like 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around here. He's a skinny guy. He's speedy and shifty. He's not like Kadarius Toney. He's small. I'm trying to remember, comparable like Florida Gator to him.
If he line up over the slot, might be.
That's a concern, right?
They have him generously listed at 5'11".
Generously listed at 5'11".
Nebraska. I generally list myself at 5'12".
It's not the first time I've been wrong on this show, but I did think that he was smaller than that. But regardless, I think they line him up in the slot. Wherever they line him up, though, is going to be – he is a guy that gets chunk yards. He's a guy that they're going to get the ball to in open space. So you have to be able to not only get good angles, you have to be able to wrap up and tackle and make sure that they go elsewhere with the football. All right, so Nick, score prediction, offensive MVP and defensive MVP.
Well, I want to give – real quick, let's give
injury
offensive
updates.
Injury updates as well.
Injury updates. We haven't even hit it yet. I fully expect Anthony Richardson to play this week.
For sure.
I think.
They said he was going to play, right?
I think said that last week too.
Yeah, Mullen said he was cleared to play, and they would keep checking on it. Mullen then today said he was just about at 100% last week, but they decided to be cautionary, especially because we're dealing with the hamstring. It can get worse, quick. But he says when you think you're at 100%, wait one more week and then you're good. And then Emory Jones, I think, went a step further and he said, I'm definitely excited to get Anthony back.
That's bad news for Kentucky. Like
Yeah.
if they wanted to like do some like quick little upset type vibes, I just don't see our offense is on another level and different type of explosive with 15 on the field. We good anyway, but when 15 is there, I think we're gonna be a serious problem for them. What else we got injury wise?
Kingsley Eguakwan should be good. He would have been able to go back into the game late, but at 38-14 and after getting rolled up on, no need for that. So he didn't go back into the game, but he will be good. Stuart Reese should be good, and Kyrie Elam. Honestly, if Florida was playing Kentucky last week, he would have played. I mean, that's. I asked the question after the game, like, is Tennessee being down this bad? Is it ruining the rivalry? And I think the answer is Florida sat Anthony Richardson, Kyrie Elam, a starting offensive lineman, then didn't put another offensive lineman back into the game, all starters, because they felt like they didn't need to.
Dan's playing the attrition game.
Well, Nick, I don't know if I heard. I'm sorry, I was reading about Kentucky. Did you mention that Gene Delance and Stuart Reese could have played?
Yeah, both. So they both should be back.
Right. They held out.
Should be back for
Eguakwan. They don't play Elam. They don't play Anthony Richardson. There might be another player or two, that could have been healthy enough to play too that didn't play. So, I think
I feel like those wide open plays and scheme busts. We all a little nervous in the beginning of the game. Like, where the hell Kyrie at? It's probably another.
Dude,
I started getting the Kyle Pitts vibes. Like, man, what the hell going on?
Dude, I looked around at some people, and shout out to this one guy, man. He was playing. Named, bro. He was. I don't even know who he. It was a guy in the stands, like 7-8 rows behind me. No matter what the play was, Florida could have scored a touchdown. That beautiful Naquan Wright touchdown. He's yelling and screaming about Anthony or Emory Jones like missing an assignment, and about how this guy didn't do this guy didn't do that. I mean, the guy was hammered off his ass, but like this guy was screaming and yelling at no one. His significant other wanted nothing to do with him. Everybody kept telling him to shut up. This guy was having the time of his life coaching this game from 74 rows up in the stands. But no, I was nervous. So you're down 14-10.
I always get around fans like that, dog. I'll be like, man, I'm the only person that sit by guys like this.
And he just had that like hand on his hips, just real, just pissed off look. He has his little visor on, just moving it around, just frustrated that Emory Jones ran the ball for a first down instead of throwing to a guy for a first down. Just don't be that person. Just having fun. You're not playing. They can't hear you. So
it's some frustrating reads that we miss out on, but I want to remind the fans too. Like Kyle Trask's first few games wasn't pretty. Like it was a lot of interceptions that were dropped, a lot of egregious throws. We were like, "Yo, what the heck is going on?" And he just got better each game, and it just kept getting better and better. So Emory's doing the same type of vibes. It ain't the same type of football, but this is Dan Mullins, and then the press been getting Dan Mullins a lot of love this past week.
Yeah, he. So you're on mute. Florida's offense right now, obviously they don't play an all SEC schedule, but is averaging more yards per game than last season. So pretty fantastic to watch the former number one passing offense now become, one of the top three.
My bad.
One of the top three rushing offenses in the country.
Only behind the academies, which I think Army – I think this could be wrong. I'll have someone check me on Twitter, but I think Army threw 6 passes last week. So
but Florida's averaging almost 7.5 yards per carry on 140 something carries on the season. Just fantastic. 7.46 yards per carry. That's an incredibly high number. And they're doing it consistently, and they're doing it against every team that they've played. Now you can argue that Florida has really only played Alabama. Well, they did it against Alabama too. So, this running offense is incredible. So, anything else before we get into score prediction?
All right, before we do a score prediction, let's get who were your player of the games for last game? Who you got? Like, of course, we had I think offensively, Emory Jones got player of the week for SEC, and also Trey Dean got it for defense.
I'll go with those two guys.
I had Malik Davis last week. 10 carries, 45 yards, touchdown.
Who you have?
Last week, I had Malik Davis. You had Emory last week. Good call.
Nick's reviewing the tape.
This is reviewing the tape.
Okay.
And Dan had DeMarcus Bowman, who played as much as all of us did. So I'll go ahead and give.
That's a wild take in hindsight, then.
I think we made Dan go last.
It was.
Dan go last. And Dan was like,
you took a wild stance of like a lot of people getting like benched.
Yeah. It's kind of like
3
last year.
people.
They said Stuart Reese was going to be offensive MVP.
Guy played as much as Nick Evers did for Florida. Dan's offensive MVP call. That's it. We can move on to Kentucky. I just wanted to make sure that
no.
we rehashed Dan's offensive MVP.
Don't worry, Nick. We've got some reminders waiting for you in about 5 minutes. So my offensive MVP, looking back on the game, I think had to be Emory Jones. I think that he played well, both running and passing. Obviously, co-offensive player of the week, but I thought this was his most complete game. He didn't turn the ball over. I thought that he played the most complete game that he's played in a Gator uniform.
Yeah, when you start getting those stats, and I think Florida specifically looks for like Tebow stats to compare their current quarterbacks to. But when you have the 200 yards passing, 100 rushing, and get named co-SEC offensive player of the week, and the dude that he shared it with had 6 catches for $160 and a touchdown. So hats off to that. I forget his name now, a kid from Arkansas. So yeah, that's clearly Florida's offensive MVP, but I think you can probably give it to the offensive line, who I think looked great.
Offensive line looked like studs all year. I'm gonna keep it Emory Jones. That's what I had it at. What did we pick defensive wise? I can't remember.
I had Zach Carter, who had 2 tackles, 1 sack.
He's playing like a monster, bro. You saw him just toss that guy with one hand, dog?
Yeah.
He
had a bigger game than the stat sheet for sure.
Yeah, Zach Carter, I feel like Florida, maybe not every single year, but is on a nice run of being able to like point to a guy and say, hey, this is why you should come back for your senior year.
Right.
Like Kadarius Toney, it might not be working out right now in New York for him.
It worked out for him, like coming back.
Yeah, you got him paid.
Yeah, you see, he's been to Gainesville a couple of times. That jury be shining.
Yeah, he's got brand new teeth.
Yeah. Gotta get the grill right.
Dan picked Brenton Cox, 4 tackles, 2.5 for loss. We already mentioned him a little bit. Silk, you took Moon, 7 tackles, 3 solo. I think all good games from all 3 guys we picked as defensive MVP.
Now, who you got this week? We got to redo who we got this week. We doing score? Or we doing MVPs?
So I said we're going to do score first, offensive MVP, defensive MVP.
All right, sounds great.
Nick?
Score. I think this one's going to be closer than last week was. I'm going to go with Florida 38, Kentucky 24.
Oh, no, I'm firing people. I'm firing. Darren fired him today. There's a lot of assignments left on the field. It's only 14
trying
points.
To find a way to connect him back to the women's basketball program.
I was, man. Like him and Blanco, they both did something in that, man. It's a conspiracy. That's a lot of points, Nick. These people just got like 16 on South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's a trap game. Big trap game.
Yeah, right. Sandwiched in between the Chattanooga game in Florida, South Carolina.
UT Chattanooga.
All right, so 38-24. Nick, who's your offensive MVP?
Offensive MVP is going to go to Dameon Pierce. He had a streak of 2 touchdowns in games, broken last week. I think he gets in the end zone twice again.
Okay. And the defensive MVP.
Defensive MVP, we're gonna go with Jeremiah Moon. No explanation, just throwing a name out there.
That's the kind of preparation we love on this show. So,
right. I'm gonna go 31-17 for the score. Offensive MVP, I'm gonna go Copeland. He's due for a breakout game. A lot of shenanigans. I think we gonna get a lot of targets this game, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go Copeland, offensive MVP. Defensive MVP. Give me the young boy. I think the young boy gets his first pick. Start making some things happen. Give me Marshall.
All right. I'm gonna go 41-21. 41-21. I like that score. For offensive MVP, I'm gonna go Malik Davis. No, I lied. I'm going to change. I'm going to go to Naquan Wright. I think that Naquan Wright has a really fantastic breakout game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think if I keep saying his name, he might keep showing up. So I'm going to go with Brenton Cox again. Had a great game. I think that he's a guy that might play a little bit of spy the quarterback as well. So I'm gonna go with Brenton Cox. I think that he gets he gets 1.5 sacks, gets a couple tackles behind the line of scrimmage, creates some havoc, and is able to force Will Levis to turn the ball over, which is what the Gators need to do to win the game. Any other thoughts on Florida, Kentucky before we move on to the last segment of our show?
No.
Quick note.
Yep, quick note.
Lexington, if you haven't made the trip for a Gator game, Lexington's a sneaky good college town. Make a weekend out of it. Kentucky's got some great bourbon. Go to some distilleries while you're around. I've done that. I think this trip I'm staying in Cincinnati just because I haven't done that before. I've been to Lexington. This will be my fourth trip. So I'm going to see what Cincinnati has to offer.
How far of a drive is that?
It's about an hour. So when you fly in, since I don't got money like you and buy sell, I don't fly into Lexington. I'm flying from Gainesville to Cincinnati, and it's about an hour and a half drive.
To the Covington Airport, which is in Kentucky.
No, it is in Kentucky, but they call it the Cincinnati. It's called the Cincinnati Airport, but it is in northern Kentucky.
That's right.
That's disrespectful.
Cincinnati is the best city, and this isn't saying much, so I'm sorry I'm going to offend our Ohio listeners. Cincinnati is the best city in Ohio, so I think you'll enjoy it. Skyline Chili, I'm going to make this statement to everybody, is trash and overrated.
Trash.
It's the Twizzlers of fast food and chili. But it is bad. But Nick, I think that
food that don't taste like nothing. That's crazy.
So here's let me tell you what Skyline Chili is. So let me peep you on this Midwestern game. You walk into Skyline, and they put a bowl of noodles,
like spaghetti noodles,
into like a paper dish that you would normally get like fries at a ball game. Spaghetti noodles into a fry container.
Why are they doing that?
Then they ladle. On. They're not done. Then they ladle on chili, which they don't tell you is sweet. They've got sugar in this.
Yeah,
chili.
They put cinnamon in it too, which throws off, and it's a runny
What?
chili.
Nobody told me that the chili. I get chili. I'm expecting there to be a little kind of heat. This is sweet chili, like dessert chili on top of spaghetti, then they cover it with so much shredded cheddar cheese that you can't tell that there's anything. You think it's a bowl of cheese, and people in Ohio and Michigan swear by this stuff. It's terrible. It's terrible. I did it the first time I went to Kentucky because everyone said you have to try Skyline, and I've never been back. Didn't even finish. I think I had 2 bites of it. It was like, yep, done.
Sounds like a terrible establishment for sure.
It is, and they do it on hot dogs.
It's Ohio in a bowl.
It's gross. It is disgusting. And if you are offended by our Skyline chili takes, then if you need to find,
I'm offended that they put sugar and cinnamon in chili.
It's sweet chili.
It is not. I don't get it. I don't get the obsession. There's actually one here in the Tenn Bay area over in Clearwater. But I'll never forget when I was traveling my old job. I was in Oxford, Ohio. I was like, tell me the restaurant that I need to go to eat tonight. And they're like, you got to go to Skyline. And now I'd heard of it and I'd never gone. I go and I was like, get me whatever. They told me what to order. It's like a 5-way or 7-way or something. So I get that and it comes out. I ate 7-8 bites. I found myself at dinner at another very nice establishment, a couple doors down that served me some edible food. But it's gross.
That recommendation is like if somebody is coming to Gainesville who's never been and they're like, Nick, where should I eat? I'm like, Arby's has like a great sandwich for you.
You got to go check it out.
If you're in town for one night, Arby's has to be your dinner
Burger King. You got to go to Burger King. You can make it your way. It's incredible.
We are going to offend all of our Kentucky resident and Ohio resident Gator fans.
They understand. They get it. They're just stuck with it. It's something they have to be proud of. So, Nick, you're right. Lexington's a great town. If you're going, enjoy the game. We had talked about maybe making it up there. Obviously, logistics and everything else going on. It doesn't allow us to go. But, Nick, enjoy yourself in Lexington. I want to make a quick announcement. The Gators do grab a commitment over the weekend. from 2023 wide receiver Darren Lawrence out of Seminole High School in Sanford, Florida. Billy Gonzalez is his recruiter. I'm going to trust Billy Gonzalez. Doesn't have much of a profile again as a 2023 kid on Rivals, but be a lookout for him. But congratulations and welcome to the Florida Gators. Pardon me, 2023 class. All right, let's get into the final segment of our show. Prize Picks. Visit prizepicks.com. If you are looking for daily fantasy and you are looking to wager on if Emory Jones is going to throw for more than 200 yards and Bryce Young is going to throw for more than 300, or maybe you want to mix an NFL Ben Roethlisberger throws 3 interceptions and I don't know, Najee Harris runs for 2 touchdowns. Whatever the case may be, check out prizepicks.com. They will allow you to match up dollar for dollar all the way up to $100 when you deposit and use promo code SG when you log in. So again, prizepicks.com. Go ahead and sign up. Even if you don't deposit money, it helps us when you go and log in. prizepicks.com, promo code SG. Before we get onto the show, we're going to do a 1/3 of the season in on our buy or sell segment. We have had 17 buy or sells in this show. In Silk, you'll never be surprised about who sits in last place. Nick in a very distant third place.
He's
First off,
crazy.
fake news. I am 8 of 17, while you and Silk are, or I'm 7 of 17, while you and Silk are 8 of 17 in picks. So a very different third is not true.
Nick, I believe if my math is correct, that's somewhere around like 17% lower.
Listen, this is not a gambling podcast.
Thank God, because you be losing your money.
Yeah. So not only is
the
little money I spend, I'm not.
Not only is he the worst at buy or sell money, like spending money wise, and money that's not even his. He's the worst at making picks. So if you wanna make some money if you want to make some Stadium and Gale bucks this week, just go with Silk and myself. All right,
opposite. Whatever Nick says, just bet opposite on the gambling sites. You'll be all right.
And
make a mortgage payment right now.
I mean, just listen to some of this. Nick didn't have the Gators scoring 42 points against FAU.
That was a win. They did not score 42 against FAU.
Oh yeah, you're right. They didn't.
Yeah, I was the only one that had that. Damn.
That's right. That's because you hate the Gators.
When I come back. Some of these are wild though. Like Dan put an over under. I forget. There was an over under at like 59, and the total points were 60.
Oh yeah,
and I picked under.
Yeah,
or I picked over. Or yeah. I was the only one that got that one wrong.
And Silk and I just knew that the Gators would put up big points.
There was more playing time for FAU, Bernie or Hopper.
Burger Dan, bro.
There was more playing time for FAU, Bernie or Hopper. I was the only one that picked Bernie. Bernie got one less snap than Hopper. Like the fix is in. Somebody's listening. Somebody on staff is listening to this show.
Yeah, they hate you.
And they're just
Dan don't like you at the pressers. I can tell the vibe.
They're just
sticking. Great that Dan Mullen just hate Nick Delatorre. It's the last play of the game. He's like, "Go put Hopper in." All right, let's get into the final part of this show. Buy or sell. Anthony Richardson gets 15 snaps against Kentucky.
I'm done going first on these two. Letting y'all.
Yeah, I'm buying. I need close to like a 60-40 split or something. I still want to go crazy. I want to get back to that type of action. So I'm going more than 15 easy. I'm buying that. AR is back out. Pull the chop out. I want to see what his shirt looks like this week. Then you got the insider heat on that, Nick?
It's already out. You can't buy it anymore. They cut off sales at noon today.
Like, golly. Imagine that.
I don't want to hurt my bread because they've been giving me some free shirts. But
bro, I need to talk to these guys about their distribution model.
Not the best shirt today.
Share it in the chat.
I do like the idea of switching up different merch every week with the team that was a smart play on his behalf. Because he got a whole nother season of that shenanigans.
Yeah, and I think the distribution right now is you could, like, obviously the Alabama week or the USF week, I get if you're not going to be able to ship them out before the game, but they're not getting you the shirt for the game before that game that week. So I get it when you wanted to make, the image of Anthony Richardson hurdling an FAU defender use that of him hurdling a bull for the second week. You probably
Yeah.
can't get that one in production until Sunday at the earliest.
Right.
But like the one for Kentucky this week is you could have made that in June. That idea, you could have had 1,000 of those printed up, waiting for you. So they got to figure some things out, because I think if you're going to do a game week shirt, you've got to be able to get that shirt in the hands of people by Friday.
Yeah, figure out the logistics and all that eventually. But I do like the way they approach it. I don't see anybody else doing anything similar. So or at least he has a plan. A lot of people don't have plans. But let's get back into what were we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about are we
Way off
buying
the
or
street.
selling Anthony Richardson getting 15 snaps?
Where you at, Nick? You buying or selling?
So I'm going to sell.
Nicholas selling.
No surprise.
I'm going to put my coins back into my wallet. I'm going to sell 15 snaps. I think the game will be close, and I think Florida will still be protective of him, and also Emory's playing well.
Best player on offense is
me.
Best player and the most explosive player on offense is AR. Emory's playing well, but it's hard to keep your best player on the bench.
But I also think that he scores in big chunk plays too, right? I mean, look at how he scored. So I'm going to go sell. I think that he gets probably something similar to he did against USF, not because Florida's going to struggle. I don't think on offense, but I think it's because he gets big yards and big plays, and I think he's going to play somewhere around 11 or 12 snaps. I was actually going to say 10, but I'm like, maybe if I go to 15, I can get Silk to rethink, but you're buying right away. So
yeah, for sure, man. It's just going to be so sad to watch this kid barely play this year and then play 1 year and be gone. That's all. So I'm just wishing for the best.
That is nuts. That is sad to think about. All right, so Gators.
Possibly with Bowman as well, but what are you going to do?
Again, eclipse 250 yards rushing against Tennessee. A bulk of them come from Emory Jones. But do you think buy or sell the Gators eclipse at 250 yards rushing again? Nick, buy or sell?
I'm going to go – man, with the points I put up, I got to go buy. With the points I put up, they're not moving the ball.
You have never matched your scores and anything about your decision-making ever to – other things that you've said. You shoot from the hip.
Yeah. I think that's a redeeming quality, a likable quality that I possess.
For a guy that don't plan, I think you spend more money though, right?
Yeah.
In real life, terrible financial decisions.
People are in real life.
Terrible financial decisions. In real life.
Here, you playing fantasy financial guy here.
I wish. My accountant wishes I spent money like I do on this podcast. I do not.
I think we're gonna be able to run the ball on teams that will. We leaning on people. We land on people this year, man. Dan Mullen in his bag, so 250 plus me.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy as well. I think the Gators get close to 300 yards rushing. I think that they're going to be able to expose the Kentucky defense. I don't think it's very good defense. It really depends, I think, on Kentucky's offense and how they move the ball to how often the Gators are going to play on offense. But I think that they score well over 250 yards. This is something that we haven't talked much about. So you mentioned it. Gators right now sit 130th in the country in turnovers gained. Sit 121st in turnovers lost, 108th in turnover margin. We did mention that Kentucky is last, I believe, in college football in turnover margin. So buy or sell, the Gators are plus 1.5 in turnover margin. So
I'm not buying the turnovers until I see them. Sell it.
Ooh, I got him to sell, Nick.
I wanted to buy, but I think if Silk sells, I have to sell. I got ground makeup. We're going to buy it. I'm buying it.
That's what I was going to do. And you just
stole
my thunder. I'm going to buy. I think that.
I said I wanted to sell it.
Dan's like, oh, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, we both went.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy. I think that they get 3 turnovers this game. And I think they win the turnover battle in this game.
Kentucky losing 6 fumbles is like
that's bad luck.
Fumble recoveries are luck. Like losing 6, you got to think that luck will. You keep putting the ball on the ground, you're bound to lose some. But to lose 6 fumbles is some bad luck.
In the words of Kodak, I hope so.
That sounds like something Kodak would say.
I hope
That's wild. The phrase "I hope so" is reference back to kind of. I love it. All right. So Gators get 6 sacks in the first week, 3 against South Florida, 2 against Alabama, back to 3 this week. So that's what we're going to set the number at. Buy or sell the Gators get more than 3 sacks in the game. So
I'm buying that. I'm buying more than 3 sacks. I'm buying a lot of sacks. We get out to the passer. We disrupt the passer a lot. Them boys is hungry. I need to see more 33 and more violence. My spirit animal out there a little bit, but give me more than 3 sacks. Give me 4+.
Okay.
You set the line at 3.5, 3.5?
Yeah. So, more than 3. So, 3.5.
I'm going to sell. Florida had 6 week 1 and have not gotten more than 3 in every other week since. Teams are getting the ball out quick,
Right,
so I'm going to sell that.
I think we Todd's keeping some blitz packages in his back pocket for SEC play.
Yeah.
He better get more than 3.5. I'm already firing him, so you gotta get it together.
I think that they're gonna. Ooh, that's tough. I think that they're gonna have more than 3 sacks. I think that they're gonna force Will Levis to run. I think they're gonna force him behind the line of scrimmage. I think they end up with 4. The Gators right now sit 11th in the country, and have played some. Obviously, Tennessee that doesn't get a lot of coverage sacks or things of that, or coverage sacks too, just a lot of sacks. So I like that Florida has. I like Florida for sacks, just because I want to stay optimistic. I think the Gators come out strong. I think that they win this game in very decisive fashion. So, with that being said, we've gone an hour and 40 minutes. So let's get to the Manscaped ad read, and I'll take us out with a song of the week.
Summer's winding down. Fall is here. Unfortunately, I'm cutting back on my ball deodorant. Shout out to the great folks at Manscaped.com, the best of the best when it comes to man grooming needs. Got to keep them things manicured, got to keep everything tight and right. Ball deodorant, Lawnmower 4.0. All essential needs in 2021. You can't be out here like Bushwick Bill. Got to take care of that bush, fellas. So man care appropriately. Visit manscaped.com. Use coupon code SG at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Take care of them balls, and they'll take care of you.
I love it. All right, boys. We'll see you at the same corner, same time next week, right?
Hey, man. Same corner, same time. I want to say, man, it feels like one of them seasons, man. I want to actually talk to y'all. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Couple big games on the schedule left.
Yeah.
LSU ain't looking too bad. They're looking. I don't think they look terrible. It's a game we got to come, especially after the fall game. We got to come ready to play some football. But a lot of opportunity in the air for the Gators this year again.
I mean, not to downgrade, the rest of the schedule. But I mean, I'm sitting here staring at, October 30th and that date with Georgia in Jacksonville. Whoever wins that game, I think, unless Florida trips up. In 2018, they lost to Kentucky, lost to Missouri. Last year, lost to LSU. They didn't have a weird game in 2018 or 2019, excuse me. But I think Florida enters that game against that game against Georgia with 1 loss. And whoever wins that gets the shot at Alabama.
I think I like the makeup of this team better from a leadership perspective to hopefully not let them get down. Florida left some points on the field against Tennessee. They've maybe not looked as perfect. And somebody, I forgot who it was, I want to shout him out. But somebody said, the Xbox fans, right? Like, Florida beats Tennessee by 24 points. It's still an SEC team. And you look at the final score, you're like, they beat them by 24 points. It's like, yeah, but they were only up by 4 at halftime or by 3 at halftime. And, I think when you look at this team, they've performed when they need to. It's not perfect. They're still 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. But I think that they're a good team. I think that they've got great leadership on defense. I think that they're getting over some humps, your issues at cornerback. You're getting Jason Marshall some time. One of your starting cornerback is missing this season, right? Your starting linebacker is missing this season. So I think that they're starting to get over some of these humps early, and I think that they're playing pretty well. And I don't know if this team is going to trip up that game against LSU or Missouri from a few years ago with the leadership of this team. I think that they've got each other's backs, and I think that you've got a lot of leadership that's going to not let them down this year.
Yeah, liking the vibe so far, man. Same corner, same time, fellas.
Same corner, same time. Hey, Cam, let's take us out with
song
with my boys Crawford and Power. I've had a new song, What I've Been Missing. Big fan of theirs. Still waiting on them to take off. But Crawford and Power, What I've Been Missing. We'll see you guys at the same time next week.
Let me get a quick shout out to the Gators Collective, man. I missed the Bowling Alley vibes this past weekend, but shout out to my man Randy Russell. He pulled up, he hit me up and was like, "Hey man, I hope all is well." But I had an amazing time. We're gonna be doing some content with him and a few other guys that we're adding on to this little roster of things we're doing. It's not an SNG thing, it's a Gator Collective thing, but beautiful vibes in the NIL market. Be sure to support the Gator Collective, man. These kids are loving it. If you see the footage from the Bowling Alley, we got some episodes we're gonna roll out from hanging out this past weekend, but just a beautiful thing, man. Be sure to show some support.
Absolutely. It's over 800 people right now. Put on a great tailgate the other day. A lot of passion, a lot of support with the Gators Collective. So check it out, gatorcollective.com, and support your Gators and NIL. All right, boys. See you guys next week.
Already.
I can't think.